Good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower people to live a healthier lifestyle. And so this evening, even though I had just a little technical difficulty, the purpose let me tell you, I am Anna. I am an author. I'm an educational consultant. I'm the host of this show. I am a jury consultant. I carry many hats, but I can tell you this much that I bring a lot of knowledge and wealth to the conversation. And so, from time to time, how I go about inspiring and encouraging is by sharing knowledge and making people more aware of their surroundings and things. And I try to bring uh, speakers to have more knowledge than I am. And so this evening, I have a special. Uh, we are what can I say? We're from the same state, but I'm going to make a real good introduction when I come back. I'm going to take a commercial, but before when I always come on, I always do a little housekeeping because I always forget at the end of my podcast. So I try to take care of that business beforehand. So I do want to let you know that I do go live. I go live on Facebook and Instagram, and also through my own YouTube. And so this here, I have a bit. So if you're interested in becoming a guest or being a sponsor or anything like that on my program, by all means, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me at listine1@gmail.com or also at ctrmedianetwork.com and you slash sweet blessings as well. So I just wanted to, and then this is my email in case you have any questions or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you are well aware of those things. And the last one, but not least, is my YouTube channel. I'm trying to increase my visibility there. So if you could help me out by subscribing to my YouTube channel. So we're going to take a brief commercial, and then when I come back, I'm going to introduce our guests. You're going to be more than happy this evening. So hold on just one moment.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Anna. I'm the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And tonight we have a special guest, Dr. LaKeischa McMillan. And she is passionate about helping women in perimenopause and menopause. And she is known as the International Menopause Whisperer. She's going to give you a lot of information this evening. She is a gynecologist, and she has cracked the hormonal code through integrative medicine and wants to help other women do the same. So without ado, I want to introduce to you Dr. LaKeischa McMillan. Hello, and welcome. And I apologize for the little mix up at the beginning. I just had some problems there for some reason.
No problem at all. No problem at
So
all.
welcome, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I have a few little questions I'm going to ask you, but the first question that I'm going to ask you is to kind of tell the audience a little bit, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I love to start out by saying, I love stories. I'm a storyteller. I don't know if people know the term the griot, but I'm a griot, and my father was a griot, and I believe he's passed it on to me. And so I believe that we relate to each other through the art of storytelling. So I want to take you on a journey with me, if it's okay.
That's
Um,
fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so imagine that it is Saturday night. It's a regular Saturday night. You're just enjoying your evening with your spouse. For me, it was my husband. My kids were at home. We were just any regular Saturday night. It used to be movie night when they were younger, right? So
Mhm.
but now they're a little older, so they have their own things. But we were upstairs watching TV, and all of a sudden my phone starts going off, my messages, ping ping. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And it's the girls group chat. So it's my girls, and my bestie is saying, excuse me, ma'am, did you have something to tell us? Did you forget about something? And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she sends me this screenshot that her mother, I call her one of, that term of endearment, my auntie,
Mhm.
had sent to her of me on TV.
Okay.
And I go, huh? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I realized that my segment on Love and Marriage DC on the Oprah owned TV network was airing. And I am now one of the menopausal experts that's featured on the OWN network.
Oh, that's
And
good.
I'm just like, wow, oh my goodness gracious. Because we had filmed that segment a while ago, so I'd forgotten about it. But I often say to people, but it didn't always start that way. So,
People don't realize that.
no. So if I can, I want to be able to share a little bit of my real story with your audience, if I could. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So I say, if you were to look at my highlight reels, I call them the highlight reels. ESPN or Sports Center, they show you the highlights, right? They show you all the dunks, all the points, or when they made it, when things were done. I said it would look as if I was checking off all the boxes. I was able to come from a two-parent household. I was blessed to come from a two-parent household. I had educators as parents. When I said to them at 12 years old, I want to be a doctor, they encouraged me to find myself around a physician to make sure that that's what I wanted to do, because they were like, we're educators, honey. We don't know medicine. If that's what you want to do, go make sure you're around a doctor so that you know that's what you want to do. My brother and I said all the time that, our dad was our cheerleader and mommy was our coach, and we would run in the house. And if we said, we're going to go to the moon, daddy would say, yes, you can. Absolutely. And mommy would say, okay, what's the SOP? I need to know all the procedures. I need to know all your methods. I need to know how you're doing this. What's your plan A, your plan B, your plan C? And so again, we were encouraged. We were always encouraged. And so I was able to go through elementary school, high school, college, got accepted to Loma Linda School of Medicine in their early selection program. So I knew from my junior year that I was going, which medical school I was going to.
Mhm.
But then, life comes at you with a 1-2 punch,
It
right?
really does. It
And
sure.
so for me, I have two dates in my head that they are just like seared into my brain.
Mhm.
One is April 2nd, 2009, and the other one is February 24th, 2010. The first one is when we lost my father to complications from a stroke. And the next date, just 10 short months later, is when we lost my grandmother to complications from CHF, or congestive heart failure.
Mhm.
And because of our tight knit family, we were all so close. This ripped the rug from underneath us,
Yes.
just completely put us all in free fall. And this is when I was just like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? I remember, Miss Anna, I remember Miss Brothers sitting on labor and delivery one night, and my blood pressure was 160 over 110. And the nurses were like, Doc, do you need to go to the ER? And I was like, no. And I remember sitting at the nurse's station whispering, Lord, I need an exit strategy. I was not liking my patients anymore. When my pager went off, I was just like, what do you want? And that was not like me. I remember that my energy was so low. I would just crawl back into bed. I'd crawl out of bed. And yes, I was dealing with complex grief and was going through therapy. Amen for therapy. I need the t-shirt that says, I know Jesus and I have a therapist, right?
Yes.
And I was peeling back all those layers, but I also was trying to figure out what was going on. At the time, my husband and I were just cordial roommates. We were getting up, making sure that our son at the time, we only have one child at the time, was getting ready, going to school, making sure that those things were done. But I was in free fall. And it was at that time that I said, you know what? I need to take a step back from traditional medicine. I need to be able to do what people would say, physician, heal thyself.
Yes.
And I started diving into integrative medicine and functional medicine and really truly understanding what was happening on a physiological level with my own body. I mean, I was gaining weight for seemingly no reason. Like I said, I was exhausted. I didn't want to be intimate with my husband. And y'all, he's cute. Okay. I like him.
You're a mess.
Okay. And I was just like, what is going on? And this is when I took a sabbatical. I started out by taking a sabbatical. And I remember 2 months into my sabbatical, Miss Brothers, I called my office manager and I said, hey, and she said, I know you're not coming back. I said, yeah, I'm not. And it was at this time that I was able to continue listening and understanding and applying what I was learning. And that is how I'm able to come to you as Dr. LaKeisha, your international menopause whisperer, validating perimenopause and menopausal women's symptoms, helping them to crack their hormone code, and then building their personalized symptom solution blueprint.
Girl, you know what? I wish I hadn't seen, I'm old now.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No. But I mean, I wish I had known or knew of you earlier in my life. It's what I'm trying to say. And so, I do have a few questions.
Sure.
I'll ask you one because I think that people might not know. Well, I know. There's menopause.
Yes.
And then there's perimenopause.
Okay.
And they might not know the difference.
I love where you're going with this.
I
am a teacher at heart, and I love building a foundation.
Well, I'm a retired school teacher.
Oh, we're going to have a good conversation tonight. We're going to have a great conversation tonight.
So people, and that's the purpose of my podcast, is to make people aware, because people are not aware of what's going on. And so they might not understand the difference between those two. So can you tell us a little bit?
Oh, I love to. So there are the terminology that's in our lexicon now is perimenopause and menopause. And when I was in residency, 20 plus years ago, as an intern, there were rumblings about perimenopause or premenopause, like you said. There was premenopause is what we were saying back in the early 2000s. And we really didn't know what that meant. It just meant, women's periods probably started shifting, started changing, and that was it. So let's talk about menopause, and then we're going to talk about perimenopause.
Okay.
Menopause, the textbook definition of menopause is 12 consecutive months without a period. 12 consecutive months. It's not hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness. It's none of those, because everybody's symptoms can be vastly different.
Right.
But the textbook definition, 12 consecutive months, this is imperative, because if you go 12 consecutive months and you don't have a period and you're not on any type of hormone therapy and you have a bleed, you need to go to your doctors and be evaluated and make sure you don't have uterine cancer. Okay, so that's the big thing. And I'm not saying that if you go 12 months and you have a bleed, you have cancer. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's one of what we call the differential diagnoses that we need to exclude to make sure that you're okay.
Okay.
So I have women that come to me and say, I haven't had my period for 6 months. I must be in menopause. No, ma'am. You go 6 months, have a period, you have to start the clock over.
Yes,
You go 9 months, you have a period, you have to start the clock over. You go 11 months, and I've had that happen to patients, and you have a period, you must start that clock over because of that possibility of having a postmenopausal bleed and you having to be ruled out for uterine cancer. That is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, perimenopause, I'm sorry to say, I have nicknamed it purgatory.
Okay.
Because it can start 5, 7, 10, 15 years before you go into menopause. Now, the textbook definition of perimenopause is when your cycle varies by 7 days. Either your cycle starts shifting and it comes sooner, or it starts shifting and it comes later. But there's a whole host of things that happen in that particular phase that show up as symptoms because your hormones are not going as high as they used to. Those levels, they're not going as high, or they're dipping too soon, too fast within the cycle. So you can have interrupted sleep, inability to get to sleep, stay asleep. You can have your skin starting to feel funny, itchy skin. How many of you all at the end of the day, you take off your clothes or you're changing and all of a sudden you're just scratching. Oh my goodness. Or you have itchy ears, or you have ringing in the ears, or you're starting to have weight gain around that midsection. And you're like, look here, if I cut one more thing out of my diet, I'm breathing air. Okay.
You feel that way. You sure do. Yeah.
You feel that way, right? Or you're having vaginal dryness, or you're having little temperature changes. And I love this when my ladies come to me and they go, I'm not having hot flashes. It's not hot flash, but I do feel warm at times. It's this, this temperature dysregulation. There have been, I have one lady, I call her one of my super friends. She is a menopausal nutritionist out of Canada. She and her team have surveyed over 5,000 women, and they're presenting their findings at upcoming conferences. And they have discovered that there are over 100 different symptoms for perimenopausal and menopausal women. So some of these symptoms that a lot of people probably are getting classified as, oh, you're just getting old, that joint pain, that frozen shoulder, all these different things that are kind of dismissed as, oh, welcome to the club, child. It's just the way it is, are literal symptoms that are coming that are now evolving because your hormones have changed. So you're not making this up in your head.
No,
it is real physiology.
Yeah, I will agree with you 100%. We're going to take a brief break, and then we're going to come back because you've hit on quite a few things that I had. I'm a research person, so I've researched.
Awesome. I love it.
But we're going to come back because you did mention symptoms, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the symptoms and what people should be looking for, because they might not know what those symptoms are. So we'll be right back.
Join the She Trucking Foundation today and be a part of a supportive community of women in the trucking industry. Unlock exclusive access to valuable resources, including mentorship, educational workshops, and networking opportunities. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting your trucking journey, She Trucking is here to empower you and help you thrive. Visit www.shetrucking.com to join us and drive your trucking career to new heights.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Anna. I'm the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And this evening we have Dr. LaKeischa McMillan. She is known as the International Menopause Whisperer. And the conversation has been hot, y'all. I'm serious. It has been hot. Lots and lots of knowledge. As we went to commercial, she was talking a little bit about symptoms. And, if any of you all that watch my program, you know how I am about my notes. She expound on quite a few things that's in my notes, because I'm going to tell you, I have here hot flashes and night sweats, vaginal dryness and discomfort, mood changes, bone thinning,
Yes.
heart palpitations,
Yes.
joint pains, and stiffness, which is what you was just saying before we went to commercial. Thinning of the hair,
Yes.
as well. Urinary issues.
Yes.
So those are some of the symptoms. What can we do now?
That is a great question.
What can we do now?
What can we do? There are several options for you, and I call the ladies that are part of my community my hormone hotties. Okay. So I talk about tools that you can put in your hormone hottie handbag, and some of those tools can be lifestyle changes. Especially when it comes to the world of exercising, making sure that you do some form of weight resistance, because you want to make sure that as you are challenging your muscles, what happens is the insertion point that muscle has on the bone pulls on the bone and makes the bone even more sturdy. So that is a way that you can actually help to make sure that you're keeping your bones healthy. Another thing you can do is making sure that you have the right supplements on board for you. And this is where the conversations get really good, because supplementation is not just blanket across the board. It's not just go get the Centrum, the women over 50, or just get any type of vitamin, or just go ahead and get, what you're seeing as, part of the advertisement that is going around. But coming in and getting evaluated through various different means and seeing what vitamins you need, because vitamins help with all of the reactions that happen in your body to make sure that your body is processing your hormones correctly. Making sure that all of these different pause for the mental brain. Sorry. all of these reactions that are happening in your body they are actually happening the way that they should. Okay. Also, there is an option for hormone replacement therapy, or some of us call it bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, BHRT. And this is where the conversation is very hot, because of the thoughts of what hormone therapy was doing back in the early 2000s. And I say, when it comes around that conversation, doctors don't have a great PR department. We don't have the ability. We were not that great in helping people understand what that study actually meant and how it translated to the general population. And there have been subsequent studies to debunk and to clarify the data that came out in 2002 from the WHI study. There are studies that show there is no increased risk of breast cancer. There is no increased risk of cancer when you do have that as part of your toolkit. And so when you add on bioidentical hormones, you are adding to decreasing your risk of dementia, decreasing your risk of osteopenia and osteoporosis. That's the bone health. You are decreasing your risk of breast cancer for certain types of breast cancer. You're decreasing your risk for colorectal cancer. So that is a tool that can be used. So it's about supplements, it's about lifestyle, and it's about options in terms of maybe having that bioidentical hormone therapy as an option as well.
Okay. Also, I've heard some people use oils. Have you heard of people using
That can be that some oils, I've heard of some people using oils for vaginal dryness. I've heard of certain types of supplements can be used for vaginal dryness. And that's where you need to talk to a practitioner, somebody that really can dive into your personal medical history, because we can't just say, oh, all supplements, because there could be medications that you're on that it can interfere with or interact with. And you need to make sure that you're a great candidate for it.
That's good. And another thing that I think that um, us as human beings need to kind of focus on as well is physicals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is where I feel that, again, our PR department, doctors PR department, we're not the best. When there came to when the recommendations for pap smears came out, because we were adding testing for what is called HPV, which is human papilloma virus, which is the virus we've learned is the virus. It is a sexually transmitted virus that can be the risk factor for causing cervical cancer. What we've done now is, if you can screen for HPV, and now they break you down into certain age brackets. And then if your HPV is positive or negative and your cells are okay, then you don't have to repeat that particular test for so many years. And what happened is women started interpreting that as, I don't have to go to the doctor for so many years. You need to go every year, because somebody needs to take a look, make sure that your breasts are healthy, make sure that your pelvic region is healthy, making sure that they actually palpate the uterus if you still have a uterus, and the ovaries. Or if you don't have a uterus, are there any masses that are growing in the pelvic area? So yes, you need to go in and let somebody examine you yearly. And there are particular aspects of the well woman exam that don't need to be repeated every single year, but that does not dismiss you from coming to see me.
Okay. I'm glad everyone should hear that, because some people, I have a few, well, I'm not gonna say I have a few friends, well, one friend in particular that, I go every year. I go for everything.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Uh, and I've had some health issues here recently, and it's only because I go every year. I
That's
have
a
a
good deal.
yearly exam every year. I have a good relationship with my doctor. Also, because I go every year, they have a basis to look at information on my history, where they
Exactly.
can tell immediately when something has changed.
Exactly.
Okay. And I don't think that people, females, and I'm going to say women, people of color, go to the doctor like they should be. But I have always been a firm believer that there's two things that you need to have the best of in life, and that is your health, your medical,
Exactly.
the food that you eat,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
what you put in your mouth,
Yes.
and your health. Those are, you can fluctuate a little bit on the other things, but to me, those are things that you kind of need to pay attention to. And like I said, I've had some health issues, and like I said, I wish I would had known earlier, because some of the problems that I'm having now could have been prevented there. But I'm going to be honest with you. My problems, I have problems, but they're not serious problems.
Okay.
They're problems that they're preventive. Okay. I'm at that stage where they caught
Good.
things just like that. So, um, and that's where I am, but I'm old. I'm in my 70s. I know. And
Wow.
most people see when I say that most people don't realize I look good for my age.
Yes, ma'am.
But seriously, so I'm blessed and I thank God every day for it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
to be, something is going to happen at this age. So that's the way I look at it. I've led a comfortable and, pleasant life. And I'm
Yes.
doing some of the things that I love. And and the reason I know I didn't tell you why I started this podcast or why I became part of CTI Media Network. It might help in our little conversation, but maybe 5 to 6 years. My mother died in 2021,
So sorry.
and well, it was a learning experience for me because she had dementia. So all of those things that you have talked about this evening, I have kind of experienced. And what happened was, um, I used to go live and tell people my experience with my mother
Mm,
because, sometimes when older individuals or individuals have dementia, people don't realize it's an illness.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They think, they put a stigma,
Um,
they put a stigma on it. If you're educated, you're okay.
okay. Okay.
See. So
Mhm.
um anyway, I wanted them to see that even though she had dementia, you could live a great life.
Absolutely.
And it made me become more aware of dementia because I'm gonna tell you, I was like 56, 50, 55. I didn't
Mm,
even know what dementia was.
wow.
And as an educator,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like in awe. But I was joined a support group. And it's just, you remember I told you about that medical. I go to a very good hospital, research hospital, one of the best in the country. And I was able to get my mother and I in a support group. And
Wonderful. Wonderful.
it was through that group that I learned a great deal. And I realized that I didn't know there were others that did not
Mm,
know either.
yeah.
And so that is the purpose of this. And so I'm grateful to have you on here this evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, because people don't realize how this affects their hormones and things in their life, and they need
Oh, yes.
they need to realize that there's something important. You might need therapy. Now, I know you have some other little things here that you want to talk to us
Oh,
about.
no problem. I have a person that asked me a question over on Instagram, if that's
Okay,
okay. Can I
that's
enter?
fine. That's fine.
Okay. So Marie Gaza Hurley, she asked, when are you postmenopausal? After 10 years of menopause? That's a great
That
question.
is a great question.
So if you look at traditional medicine, and what happens is we have definitions for a reason, because that's how doctors communicate to each other and how we know what we're talking about. So most people will tell you, you go 12 months and then the next day you're postmenopausal. You go 13 months and because you haven't had a period, you're postmenopausal. There's really no consensus as to when if there is a actual time frame to say postmenopausal. I personally stopped using the term postmenopausal. And the
Mhm.
reason I stopped doing that is because I found when I was talking to my patients and they said, "Oh, I'm postmenopausal, but I need you to help me with this." They were still dealing with the hormonal changes, a body that had gone through hormonal changes and not understanding you're not going back to something else. Menopause isn't something you go through and then you're done with. Women spend a third of their life in menopause. This is now your menopausal phase of life. Your body's going to continue to change. I have another one of my super friends. She called me and she was like, "Look, I've been in menopause for 10 years." She's like, and all of a sudden something has just changed. And I said, yeah, because now maybe your adrenals have started changing. Maybe they can't produce what they used to produce and support your body anymore. Maybe you need to have me do some labs on you so we can see what's going on so you can get the appropriate support that you need. So postmenopausal, technically when you've gone that 12 months and you're right after that, you're postmenopausal, but don't think that you're done, that you're out of something, that you're over it.
No,
Because
because
your
you still
body,
gonna have them hot flashes.
you can still have, there's some women that have hot flashes for a good 5 to 10 years. There's a study that has shown that African American women actually have hot flashes an average of 5 to 7 years longer than their counterparts.
Yes.
And then the next group are Latinx women. They tend to have hot flashes the next longer. So everybody's different, and everybody's not going to have all the same symptoms. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that is very interesting, and that was an excellent question. I also was thinking along along those lines. What do you do? Because I hear people all the time say, "Oh, girl, I'm having a hot flash, but I know I'm through with menopause." You know, I don't know what's going on here. That's what you hear him saying that all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. I know you said you had a giveaway. I want you to for us this evening for the guests. So should I put that up here?
Yes. So remember I said that I help you crack your hormone code. What this does, if you go get your freebie now, go to hormonequiz.co. It is .co. Go to hormonequiz.co and grab your free hormone quiz. Take that quiz so we can crack your hormone code. Then after you take that quiz, make sure you go to talkhormones.com so you can schedule your virtual consult with me. We can go over those results and we can start building your personalized blueprint. Okay, your symptom solution blueprint, because there is a spectrum. Everybody is on this spectrum. Where are you if you're still having a cycle? Where are you if you think you're perimenopausal? Where are you if you are menopausal? Which areas do you need support? Because I say it's not just balancing your sex hormones, which is your estrogen, your testosterone, and your progesterone, but also making sure your adrenal health is taken care of, making sure your gut health is taken care of, making sure your thyroid health is taken care of. So those are the 4 big areas that I really work on, concentrate, look at, and help you to make sure that you can then get control of your body again.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a brief commercial and then we're going to come back and I want you to leave the audience with something.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Does this resonate with you? Has a company ripped you off in the past? SettleShark is changing how consumers get money back from companies. SettleShark assists consumers during the entire process, from beginning to end. Our process is simple, convenient, affordable, and powerful. You're in control. We are here to help you. Contact us today at www.settleshark.com or call 1-888-704-0708.
Oh, we're back. I'm Ann. I'm the host, and we have a special guest, Dr. LaKeischa McMillan. And it's been such a great podcast this evening. I learned a lot. I always try to learn something new every day, and so this has been very enlightening for me, but I'm sure it's been enlightening for the rest of the audience because, and like I told you, I wish I had known some of these things before, but it's never too late. I always look at that and I always tell people it's never too late to start something new and to make your life better. So before we close this evening, I'm going to ask Dr. LaKeisha to leave us with some words of wisdom. Something.
Oh, let's see. Words of wisdom or like a tip of the day. I will say make sure that you are giving from your overflow. When we are giving so much of ourselves that we are running on fumes, that literally affects your physiology. It will make you slam into perimenopause and menopause. It will intensify your symptoms if you are not doing and actually participating in self care. And I know we say self care and we kind of use that term, but literally caring for yourself is not selfish, it is helpful to others. It is the same thing that is done when you are given the flight instructions and they tell you if the cabin pressure loses, if the cabin loses cabin pressure and those oxygen masks fall from the ceiling, if there's someone beside you that needs help, put yours on first because you can't help anybody else if you're passed out.
That's right.
So if you are continuously giving to somebody else, if you're mentally spent, if you're constantly the person that everybody calls or everybody unloads and tells all of their problems to, or you're the fix it person, you have to have some type of restoration that you do on a daily basis. One thing that's very easy and very simple to do, it's grounding. I love grounding. Grounding is simply going outside and standing barefoot in the ground because it literally helps you to dispense negative ions out of your body, which is can cause inflammation, into a bigger receptacle, which is the earth, because the earth can handle it. And also, the earth can give you back positive charges so your body can balance out what it needs to do. So, go put your feet in the dirt this week. Go stand outside for 2 or 3 minutes. Go walk in the grass. Yes, I know it's getting chilly. I know the temperature's changing. It will not give you a cold. Go outside, stand barefoot in the grass.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. LaKeisha. It's really been a pleasure. I want you to hold on afterwards. There's a few little things that I do before I end my program. And one of those is I always tell my audience, I hope that in some kind of way we have inspired you. I hope that some kind of way we have encouraged you. And I hope in some kind of way we have empowered you to live a blessed and healthier lifestyle. Also, I always end my program with the 3 L's, and I think Dr. LaKeisha is going to like my 3 L's. The first one is live. Live your life to the fullest. You only get one. So you want to make sure you get as much joy out of it. Do those things that make you happy. The second thing is to laugh. Laugh. Laughter brings so much joy and it's really good for your soul. So make sure you bring some laughter. You can laugh, but also bring laughter to someone else. And then the third thing is love. Self love is the most important thing. Do not forget about you. I want to thank you this evening. I'm going to ask Dr. LaKeisha to hold on, and I'll be right back after I do my little closing. Have a great one. Thank you so much for coming on.